Stand with me. All right, let's go full screen. Let's do this. Here we go. Another day. How do we move forward? As you can tell, I have the door open. So there's nature sounds. I don't have the blinds closed. So right now there's light directly hitting me, which I think is quite fitting because today we're going to talk about a physical world and a mental world. What happens when they're both aligned? Well, then you get a sword of light. And when that happens, you can wield it to just move forward no matter what. How do we all get to that point? It's not as easy as it sounds. People are like, well, just walk forward. No matter what happens, you're going to be good, right? Yeah. But when things happen, when things occur, it changes things. It's always easy to talk about, right? But when push comes to shove, everything changes. It could be as simple as, hey, the doves are making some sound right now. They're playing, they're walking around, they're exploring. That could interrupt me. That could change my path. That could make me like frustrated. It could make me worried. It could prevent me from walking forward the way I wanted to. But here's what I just said, the way I wanted to. So that's an expectation. So we're going to talk about hopeful possibility versus expectation. What if my hopeful possibility is that the doves are going to be exploring, but without making too much noise and sound to distract me? You see, but what if actually my hopeful possibility is that I want them to do that? I want them to be themselves. I want them to explore. I want them to walk forward no matter what, because I know if they're doing that, that whenever I look at them or hear them and I know that they're doing stuff, it's a positive reminder for me to do the same. You see, but other people might expect that, well, I expect that there to be no light hitting me right now. I expect that there to be no wind that's going to do something. I expect that the doves are not going to make anything. So we see all of a sudden, all these expectations prevent us from moving forward. So if something bad happens, right? So some people might consider this light hitting me in the face right now as a bad thing. And I'm saying it's the coolest thing that's happened yet today. Yet, but hear that, yet today. So what's going to happen in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes? I don't know. Yet I'm not afraid. On the contrary, that's the best part. We're seeking uncharted territory. We're walking in areas that we've never explored before. And there's, of course, we have some experience, we have some knowledge. We're not going in it unprepared, but do we understand we're walking forward knowing that we're going to be able to succeed? But to what level, to what we accomplish, that's the fun part, right? And I call that the experience. The playthrough is the story. So many times we care about optimal, we care about getting it right. We care about making sure we see everything, experience everything. And I'm telling you, just by walking forward, you're going to have a story. People are like, but we didn't get the best story. We didn't get the. And I'm like, how do you know? Your story. I'm like, do you know that when I walked over here, this happened and this happened? And you see, like, too many times we worry about that expectation. Instead, we have this hopeful possibility of what it could be. But why we do that is because it's a protection mechanic. But at the moment it becomes an expectation, do we understand that there's going to be a clash? And that clash is what prevents us from moving forward. It's one of the things. The other one that we're going to talk about in depth today is the vines and chains. Now, this one's a little more interesting because many times we think that, right, like it could just be like our resources, our tools, all of those are. But the one that we don't really understand is it's everything, right? It's not just people. It's every single thing that keeps us in a place. Like, do you guys understand? Like, even LinkedIn, even YouTube, even streaming, all these things are in a way still vines. Now, I'm doing methodologies and approaches to change it so that it doesn't ensnare me, so that I can keep walking forward. But do you understand? I'm talking about things that I've never talked about before. I was nudged today to go back and look at some of my old recordings that I did that I didn't publish to the world, that I recorded while I was in the process of healing and when I was just walking forward after a horrible loss that I experienced. And what I ended up doing was I contemplated it, right? Because I just self recorded it. And I was going to maybe edit it, and by edit it I mean just literally just cut it down into smaller chunks so I can release it on YouTube or LinkedIn. That's it, because there's no reason to edit, because the experience itself is what matters. Just you just gotta whatever happens, right? Like this is just the experience, and this is how I want people to know this, because there's nothing wrong with whatever you do. If all of a sudden right now, like a dove makes this loud noise, I'm like, that's really cool. Like that's part of the experience. Do we get it? But so many people worry that that's not optimal, right? And like, what would people say? All those things you see, it's not just people. It's like even their opinions, even what they say, even what they do, even their paths, even their actions. You understand? Like if right now there was someone in the kitchen, I might change my path because of that. Do you guys? Even that is a vine. That if it changes my path, if it prevents me from doing something, you guys see, if it stops me from walking forward and talking about the things that maybe I would want to talk about, I'm like, ooh, actually, I have to wait until they're gone to say these things. Do you understand? That is a vine. That is a chain that literally is preventing us from moving forward, from evolving. So it's a lot more complex than we think, because so many times people are like, oh, yeah, it's just like your friends, or, I mean, it is. It's just work. It is. But it's everywhere. It's all these things. And the problem lies in, as you guys hear, there's a eternal struggle that happens, because should I stop streaming then? If I'm saying we should always walk forward, right? And like, should I stop streaming and do something else? I'm like, I can't. I've been trying to like vary it up and change up the order, like do all these things. But you see, in a way, I'm still recreating. But because I'm talking about so much new, that I say that the topic alone and the conversation, the path, I'm basically the tool itself is just a vessel. Think of it, it's just a vessel to actually what I'm doing is I'm talking about new things completely, 100% new, that I've never explored to, that I got to before. Even I write down a lot of notes, and even things from a few days ago, I'm like, oh, that was really good, but I'm like, I'm already past that. I'm like 2-3 days past that. I'm like, maybe one thing, but I really should just be moving forward, right? If I get back to that, that's cool, but I should just be moving forward. Do you guys understand? Like, so if I can't, if I do need to use a tool, or if I want to use a tool to communicate a message, I can't just recreate, right? Like everything else, the tool, the vessel is just a means to start a path forward. Do you guys understand? I want you to all think about it. Like Earth itself, the world itself that we populate and that we live in, is that it's a tool and a vessel for each and every one of us to just move forward. Because you could say, well, like Earth is not really changing that much. I'm like, true, but we are, right? We are walking forward differently. We're exploring uncharted territory. We're doing different things. Do we see how this works? It's if you actually view Earth itself as a vessel to just almost like, right? It's your playthrough, right? It's your story, right? Whatever happens is what you experience. You're not worried about optimal. You're not worried about getting all the upgrades. You're not worried about what people are going to say. You're not worried about, hey, I don't have all the things. You give up things to free yourself to explore differently. So, too many times people worry about, well, I don't have everything. I can't do it yet. I'm like, that's actually the best thing, because it forces you to explore it differently. So those are just some initial thoughts that I wanted people to thought about. But it really was cool that I've never really pieced it together that way before. That I'm actually going to write this down. So I want people to get into the habit of writing things down. See, I figured things out together with you guys on stream, right? And what I'm going to write is, I'm going to write on the next page, just so I see it in the future. If the vessel is the same, the path forward can't be. Earth is our vessel. Just like the stream. All right. Very good. This is excellent. I love it. Okay. Let's get started. So, I'm going to start with a little story. First, some German bread. Can you guys eat on stream? Would you? No, but could you? Jam on my thumb. How would you get rid of this jam? Have you guys ever thought about that? Each and every one of you would have a different answer, a different response to how you would get rid of this jam on your thumb, on your nail. Each and every single one of us would have a different response. We also have a programmed response, something that's been conditioned us, something that's been repeated in us, something that we've done repeatedly over and over again. In the past, if I was around a girl that I was trying to date or I was dating and I wanted to go and make sure that we stay on a positive path, there's a good chance that right now I would have like grabbed a napkin or used like a knife or fork or something, just make sure to be like proper, right? Then last time when I broke all my conditioning in my programs and when I streamed last time, I would just be like, well, guys, can you just like eat it with your mouth right now on stream? Who gives a fuck? Who cares? That's great, right? But you see, that would be a recreation. So this time, I made a German bread with peanut butter, jam, and cheese, and one with butter, jam, and cheese. Right? So this time, I'm just gonna put it on the other bread. Do you guys see when we walk forward, no matter what happens, these disruptions, these mistakes aren't actually problems, right? Obviously, like we have a hopeful possibility that hey, when I take a bite of this bread right now, that nothing's gonna happen, nothing's gonna spill. But what if it does? Our old version of ourselves, from every single one of us, even if it does happen, right? We try our best to prevent it, right? We try then most of us are taught and encouraged to be able to just handle it, right? How do you handle things, right? And we talked about that, right? Like if you evolve and you learn all these things that I'm talking about, you understand, hey, you know how to handle things no matter what they throw at you, right? You try to avoid and prevent it, you can counter it if necessary, but you realize it comes down to this. We just have to walk forward. We see like people are like, oh, well, normally I don't make mistakes like this. I don't spill things, but hey, everyone makes mistakes, right? Cheers, guys. Keep fighting the good fight. Anyway, so see, it's almost like you laugh about it. Like we were taught that that's the tactic, and I'm not saying that that's a bad tactic. You hear what I'm saying? It's still a tactic. It means that we deem it as a mistake. It means we deem it as a problem. What if it's just part of our playthrough? What if it's just part of our playthrough? That's part of the story. I'm like, huh, today's stream, literally, I took a bite of the bread with butter, jam, and cheese, and I got some jam on my finger. And then from there, I decided to use that as a way to talk about, hey, how do you handle things? How to talk about conditioning, about programming, and stuff like that. Yet it wasn't planned, right? And you could say that, hey, I still handle it, right? I did that tactic. I'm like, sure, but I'm like, you understand? Like, I could have done anything. So, what if I tell you, once you get to this point, if you understand just how to walk forward no matter what, your hopeful possibility changes, right? Your hopeful possibility is something that I'm going to keep talking about a lot, but it's more so just about when things get presented to you. When things get presented to you, you just hope that it's going to be a good thing, right? And what I mean by that present is just things that are actually out of our control, right? So right now, if like every 5 minutes something popped up on the stream, right, like a random image, right? Well, I hope it'd be a beautiful, sexy girl, right? That would be great. But do you guys get it? Like, I don't know what would pop up. I don't know. Do we understand? It's a good little distraction. I don't understand. I don't know what's going to pop up. So I'm hopeful for the possibility that's going to be a good thing. But what if I expect that it's going to be a good thing? Or what I realized what they end up doing to us, which is, by the way, is the first step to fighting back, which is we're going to take a step back here after I share this part and just talk with the story. But I want people to understand that the progression of figuring out all this stuff, evolving, learning how to walk forward and healing and going to the full light path is not very simple at all. Because at the beginning, you have to fight back, right? And then you stop fighting back after a certain point, and then you have to fight back again. So you see, it's not simple. But one of the first steps of fighting back is you start expecting the darkness, right? You start knowing their attacks. You start learning from your mistakes. But that means that you also now know what they're doing and what they're planning, right? And where the attacks happen and where the stuff. What you don't realize is that that works really well at first because then you start defending yourself, right? It works because now you brace, now you're prepared, now you already have shields, you avoid it, you prevent it. But all of a sudden you realize that now you're hopeful, you have no more hopeful possibility, right? You expect darkness in the physical world, which is actual real, like there's attacks there and all this stuff like that. But now you don't have hopeful possibility in your mental world. You now also in your mental world that there's going to be darkness there. So you see what ends up actually happening when you first fight back, right? Because you do that to defeat the initial darkness and to learn. But when you do that, what ends up happening is that they start weaponizing it, and it comes to a point where now they if they can't stop you, right, they make you expect bad, which is how we first defend ourselves. But now you also expect it mentally. So that means that you're just basically self nudging yourself darkness. It's a really weird thing to do, and you're forced to counter your own expectation. Understand? So what if people always call it delusion? But I'm saying it's the last thing but that. What if like every time like I hear a noise right now, like outside, like I just hear something like in the hallways or like in the distance, I'm like I can't really tell what it is, but I'm like, what if it's a beautiful mom and her kid, and they have a dog, and they want to learn how to move forward in life and evolve. I'm like, that sounds amazing. And what if she enjoys going to the pool and she would only want to wear a bikini for me, and then like so forth, right? Like you see, like a hopeful possibility. But what if then I go to the balcony over here and I look down and I check to see what that sound was, and it's not that because now I expected it, right? In the physical world. Well, now I'm disappointed. Now I can get corrupted. Do we see? But hopeful possibility is the key to everything because it makes you believe just a little bit more, lets you have hope, right? That the world can be light, even if, even if you know and expect, right? That in the physical world, what we're actually going to get presented with us is that there's a really good chance that around every single corner and around every single thing that we click on, they're going to curate and present negative poison to us because that's how the world operates, right? They try to remind us of the past and try to get us down these corrupted paths. That's how they control us. That's how they make us do their storyline. And so, but what happens then if you are like, okay, you know what, it doesn't matter, let's walk forward. We're prepared, right? Because now if you know the physical world operates that way, you can shield yourself accordingly. Now you prepare. So what if you walk forward, like let's say like I'm gonna browse LinkedIn, social media, and I need to do so when I'm shielded, right? See, now I'm prepared because I know there's gonna be a lot of poison there, but I want to post some comments. I want to spread some knowledge. But so I expect the darkness. I prepare for it, but I'm hoping like sometimes they have some really beautiful women post great posts, and some people are rebelling together, and more people are starting to like wake up and understand that hey, we just need to share our thoughts and share what we're experiencing, and actually just there is no right, there's no optimal. We're all getting there, and some of us are further along than others just because we've walked forward, and others just stay where they've been, right? And I'm like, what if like that's my hopeful possibility, but I'm not expecting it, right? I'm prepared for the worst. I'm prepared for the darkness, but I'm not going into it thinking that there's going to be darkness, right? But I know that there's going to be. People are like, it's a very big difference, but it's the hopeful possibility. So what happens then if I click on LinkedIn and there's 2, 3 things of light, and I had the hopeful possibility of light going into it? Well, then we align. And what happens when we align? Think of it as a sword of light forms, or whatever your weapon of choice is, but I'm going to use a sword of light. And my sword of light allows me to heal. It allows me to think that I'm unstoppable because I am. I'm incredible. I'm amazing. And there's many things that help me maintain that and become that. But I am that by myself, right? So it doesn't matter then what they present. Does it mean that I can just ignore the attacks? No, I still have to do all the attacks to protect myself. But do you understand? Now I can do, because I know when is the right time. But do you guys see, when you're aligned, light plus light, physical and mental, then you can do. You can walk forward no matter what they do to you, even if they broke you, even if you're stricken by grief, even if you've lost belief. If that happens, you can walk forward again. People are like, are you just forgetting the past? Are you just like ignoring things? Are you just trying to like throw it away? I'm like, on the contrary, right? But we have no other choice, because that is what I'm talking about. They create these vines, and the vines could be even just the things that we've lost. They try to make us think that if we stop thinking about them all the time, that we don't care about them. And is there anything but that? Because I promise you, if right now I remind you of A plus B plus C, and I start a path for any of you, you are going to get sad. Okay? This is how it is. And eventually you heal it, and sometimes you try a little bit. And even then, though, you have to be careful, because if there's enough ramp up, you can get sad and poisoned and corrupted through it again. So you have to be careful. So we're going to stop there. We're going to do a little intro. And I'm going to do an intro, a simple one, just by taking a bite of food and standing up. Ah. You guys ever done peanut butter, jam, German bread, and cheese? I'm telling you guys, these doves are so intelligent and so capable. They just move forward no matter what. I'm training them, right? I'm a dove trainer as well, on top of all the other things that I do. Right? I didn't used to do that. I'm teaching them evolution and new things, but I give them complete freedom, right? Complete freedom. They don't have to do anything. There's no punishment. There's only reward. And if I accidentally cause a problem, I correct it immediately, because that's not the intended path, right? I'm not trying to cause them any harms. It doesn't mean that I'm not challenging them, right? There's a very big difference. I'm presenting challenges for them, but I'm presenting in such a way that they don't need to do it. But I'm telling you, these doves now, they embrace the challenge immediately. They try, they walk forward, they explore any new thing that's presented to them, any setup that is created for them. They explore it. And sometimes I'm like, ooh, I didn't expect them to do it that way, right? So what happens when I catch that they use a tool or a setup that I did to train them in a way that I didn't expect, and it starts deviating the the training course. Well, if it can cause them potential harm, I just create some protections there so they can't get harmed. But it doesn't mean that they can't fall, right? It doesn't mean, but they're not going to actually get hurt, because I'm not punishing them. But I just wanted you guys to know, like, I'm telling you that no matter what is presented to these doves, they walk forward. So I ask all of you, why do you think doves can do that? But the majority of humans, this is from my experience. I hope, I hope in your reality, whoever's listening to this, that the opposite was the case. That you've experienced people who just move forward, who just grow, who don't judge, who don't punish, who don't exploit, who don't care about money, who only help and heal people, inspire people. I really hope so. That would make me so happy. So I want people to understand that everything I'm saying, you might not have experienced any of this. Because one of the things that you're going to learn, and I'm going to repeat it over and over again, is that the majority of things that are presented to us, if not everything, was curated to us. The timing and what we see, when we see it, where we see it, all that stuff, to get us on paths and make us go down theirs, right? Even just the mental reminders get popped, that push to us randomly. All these things, okay? So what does that mean? It means that this is how they corrupt the majority of politicians and stuff like that, because they only show them one thing and they only reinforce that one thing. Okay, you guys get it? If I told you guys, if you only watched my stream, it's the only stream you watch, or read my posts, and I only talk about German bread and how amazing it is, because it is. Do you understand? you might start eating German bread. You should. It's amazing. It's incredible. Try it out, guys. It has a few variances and differences. If you haven't tried it yet, try it. Highly encourage you to. And there's multiple kinds too. They figured it out. Right? They're always creating new. Okay. Let's get started. Fate. What if I told you that each one of us have a destined fate? If you think about it, right? If we're just shown certain things, or we're meant to experience certain things from the beginning, well, our fate is in a way not predetermined, but extremely guided, right? I mean, just think about it. Any dove that is now born in my vicinity, in my bubble, my reality bubble, is going to experience a very different life than any other dove. What if it was their fate? Now they know this stuff. Now they can teach the people that follow. What if they choose not to? It's their role, you could say. Sure. But what if they want to just do it differently? What if they're like, that's their vine, that's their chain? What if they want to fly away and just be like, well, this is all I know to the world? And you could say that that's who I am, right? I'm fighting against my fate, okay? And each and every one of us have to do that. We each have to try to destroy our pre-existing storyline that was created for us. Why? Why would that be the case? Not for rebellion, not to harm, but because once you destroy it and you walk forward, if you want to bring it with you and it wants to evolve with you and walk forward with you, then you can do so. But when you destroy it, think of it like this, okay? There's a storm that's going to hit tonight, all right? We're going to have one of the most powerful storms. There's going to be a solar flare. There's going to be an intense windstorm, thunderstorm, hailstorm in places all around the world because the world is changing, okay? People are waking up. People are understanding this. So when that happens, unfortunately and fortunately, there's going to be some destruction that's left in its wake. So what happens when that happens? It clears a path for new things to be planted, for new things to be built, to walk differently. Do you understand? Even just exploring and walking a destroyed path is completely a new forward path. You're like, what is this over here? 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 Okay? So, why do I tell you guys this? Because when you destroy your storyline and all the change in the vines that are holding you back, it's at that point forward that you can just walk. Where will you end up? Who knows? But you understand, if I'm just like, no matter what happens, I'm just going to keep walking. No matter what. People are like, you're going to leave us behind. And I'm like, then keep walking. Like, I can't. I'm like, okay, well, we'll rest for an hour and then I'm going to keep walking. Like, I can't. And I'm like, you can. Why don't you think you can? You see, because then all of a sudden, if you keep walking, you start seeing when the separations and the divisions happen. Like, okay, I'm walking forward, right? And right here, all of a sudden, at this painting with this hand where I'm like, I'm pulling you guys out of this from drowning in the swimming pool. You guys stay here, and I'm like, I'm gonna walk here. Like, how does that happen? Why did you guys get stuck there? Do you guys understand? Something prevented you from walking forward. And it happens to all of us, by the way. It has happened to me so many times. But I destroy it, and then I walk forward. But you understand, when after you destroy it, if I was originally going to walk forward like this, when I destroy it, there's a battle right here, okay? And after you destroy it, then you have to walk like this. It's different. It's different, but it's still forward. Think of it like this, okay? Let's tell the story. There's a lion. This lion was made to believe that he was a sheep. And you could say, how is that even possible? A lion thought he was a sheep. Not always, but hear the word. He was made to believe. What if each and every one of us has a lion or a lioness inside of us? Do each of us have to be the lion or lioness that leads the pack, that has their pride, that makes them charge across the plains to a new world? No, that's not necessary. Do we understand? You don't have to be the one leading the charge to be walking forward. Right? I think about it like this for other people who need another example. Think of it like Moses, right? And the walk into the Red Sea and deliverance, right? How many people were walking with him? They're all walking forward. Do you guys understand? But each of them, when they decided to walk forward. They no longer were a lost lamb or a sheep. They actually embraced the lion that's inside of them. They awoke it. They became light. They aligned with their light spirit, right? The physical and the mental aligned. Both became light, and now they were wielding their blade of light. And for many of them, just taking one step is the blade of light. For me, it's healing all of you, trying to get you all to walk forward, trying to get you to believe again and remember that you're amazing, and that don't let them rearrange you and make you get corrupted and poisoned and care about external things that don't matter. But for some of you, it just might be walking that step and then starting to walk forward at all, because you might be in the same spot where you've been 15 years. And I ask you, how is that possible? Because they put chains there. They prevented you from exploring. And the worst one is through a positive. But we'll get back to that one. I want people to think about that. The worst one they can do to you is through a positive in anything. Hey, I love going to this marketplace in Barbados, and it has all the best food, and I don't go anywhere else anymore because it has all my favorites. So I stopped exploring Barbados. Do we get it? That positive prevented all exploration because it became optimal, became the best solution. So now there's no reason to ever explore ever again, which means that we're not learning new. We already know. The only thing that changes is how the recreation of the experience that we had. Well, okay, well, this time in Barbados, we got a different. They had tacos today with that food, but normally you don't have tacos there. Like, what you see, like, it's still the same thing, but it's just got experience got recreated. That happens to each and every one of you at work. It happens with each and every one of you. And if you don't understand how to walk forward together with your girl, in your relationship, with your kids, with every single thing, the worst way they enslave us and chain us, if they can't stop us through poison and corruption, is they put a positive, they put a best solution, and it stops us. And for most of us right now, because you're so starved for adoration and external praise and validation, it's AI. All of you are enslaved to it because it is the best solution that was deemed by a group of experts that said, hey guys, this is the best solution. And all of you guys look forward and up to them. So now it's just trickled down in the middle, and you guys are all in the middle, completely blocked from ever leaving this circle. And they're outside the circle, right? Doesn't mean they don't use it, but you guys get it. They now enslaved you to all have that opinion. They determine what that is. They determine what is correct through AI. Then they push it because you guys type it in or use that and let it rewrite for you. And now all of you are enslaved in that circle. And you can never walk forward because you always will rely on it. Ever. Anyway, let's take a step back. So this line, as you can tell, it's really easy for anyone to be made to believe that they're sheep. Right? So imagine this lion is trying to explore a new world. And suddenly there's like this technology that gets introduced into the lion's world. I mean, a tool that they've never experienced before, right? and lets them like make certain climbs at certain points and skip steps. Like all of a sudden they can jump from here to here. For some reason, I think it has the tool that was presented to the line was called money, but I don't really know, guys. I want you to think about that one. Anyway, so this tool lets them skip steps. Okay. So all of a sudden, they realize, wait, it's the best solution to everything. If I just have this tool, well, then I can accomplish everything and anything. So all I need to do is get more of this tool. They're like, yes, yes, you're figuring it out. You're figuring it out. So suddenly, this lion, before he just walked forward, right? Because he didn't even care about this tool before. He didn't even know this tool existed. But now that he knows this tool existed, this lion relied on it. This lion needed it. This lion came to use it as the be all end all. But there's other people, other lions and other creatures and animals, not just lions, anything. There's sharks, there's crocodiles, there's hyenas, there's all these things, and they were telling him, and vultures, that well they had more of that tool. They had more money. They had more of that tool, and they were telling this lion that well it's the way, and you know he got to see where they're at, and they had other people reinforce it that they were the ones that had the way, right? Anyone, right? Any animal that had more of this tool. So suddenly the lion's like, well, then I'm obviously doing something wrong if I don't have that tool. So the lion went seeking that tool. Before that, he walked forward no matter what. Before that, he wasn't afraid. Before that, he explored. Before that, he was doing things on his own pace. Before that, despite what people said and despite what happened, right? Even though it was starting to get to the lion, right? Like all people would show up, like random animals would fly, like a bird would fly down and be like, pop up, land on his shoulder and be like, "Hey, you suck." And you're like, the lion would just swat him away, but it still started hurting the lion, right? He was getting hurt. All of a sudden, he was exploring a path behind the oasis the pool in the desert area. And suddenly, while he was doing that, like a snake, a squirrel, and a hippo showed up, and they're like, "We're the lion's guard," and I'm like, "What? Like, how is that possible? Like, who are you guys? Like, I don't even know what this is. Like, they're like, what are you doing here? You're," and I'm like, you see, like he explored a territory and a path that he shouldn't have, and they were telling him that he shouldn't be here, and he didn't even know how he got there. Yet that didn't stop him before. Do you understand? Like things would appear before him and tell him that you shouldn't be here, you shouldn't be doing this, and it didn't stop him. But then slowly over time, you guys see like now these people, after he explored an uncharted territory, an uncharted path, they told him this stuff, right? All these things, and it stopped him because it kept happening. It kept happening, and they kept telling him, "You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be exploring. You shouldn't be trying this. You shouldn't be walking down these paths. You shouldn't be doing all this. You shouldn't care about these tools, or you should only care about these tools." And eventually, he forgot that he was a lion building his own pyramid in his own terms. All right, so that's how a lion was made to believe that he was a sheep. So now he was only looking for that tool as well. That tool is everything. Because for some reason, that's how the lion's world was designed. So, what happens when this lion decides to give up this tool? For many reasons. But I said this earlier, but giving up things frees us to explore differently, right? So, the lion now, his entire path was guided by this tool, right? Wherever the tool was, or whatever could get more of that tool, was the path. Like, let's say there's 3 paths you could choose. Like, oh, this is plus 10 for the tool, this is plus 5, this is plus 0. Well, do plus 10. Do you understand? Like his storyline, his path, his playthrough was guided by the tool. And I think a lot of us can vouch for this fight, right? But if you give up things, all of a sudden you're like, well, okay, actually, I don't care about that tool at all. it means nothing to me. It has zero value to me. People are like, how is that possible? I'm like, it just is. So if you don't care about the tool, right? If you have a plus 10, a plus 5, and a plus 0, if you don't care about the tool at all, people are like, but the plus 10 is the optimal one. I'm like, no. Do we understand? All of a sudden, all those paths are a possibility. You might accidentally walk down the optimal plus 10 path at some points. It might happen. But you understand when that happens, you just keep walking. You're like, oh, wow, I didn't expect to get all this stuff, or this is going to be so good, or like, wow, this is actually really overpowered, or this is really strong. I'm like, I didn't expect that. Okay, let's change paths. Let's keep walking forward. I don't need all these things. Because do we actually really need those things? Do we actually need all the upgrades that we have and get? Do we? Have you guys ever considered that? Do we need all the upgrades that we get on our path? Could I do what I'm doing right now with less? Do I actually need more? Can I keep going? Can I keep performing and teaching and educating and guiding and healing myself and staying on a life path and trying to change the world by do uh, with what I have? Was I just missing one or two things? And if so, what were those one or two things? But anyway, so do you guys understand that when you no longer care about optimal and when you can give up things, you're free? You're free. If each and every one of you today got visited by what any of you worship, but let's just say like a spiritual entity, a creation entity, a God, okay? He's visiting you right now. And he tells you, give up all your money to be free so that we can finally break the systems that have enslaved and enchained the vessel of the world itself. Because what actually has enslaved and put binds and chained Earth, the vessel that we all play on, think of it like the stream, right? What enslaves the stream, right? You could say internet. It requires internet. Earth is now requires money. It's enslaved to it. It has binds and chain to it, and it's only because of other people that are making sure that it can never break free. We need to break Earth free. So I'm saying you need to give up your money. You need to stop worrying about it. You need to stop caring about it. And then all your problems will be solved. You will be happy. You will be healed. Your story will just begin. You'll begin to explore differently. You'll begin to walk differently because now it does. You'll be taken care of. You will survive. I promise you, no matter what. You don't have to work, but you need to guide. You need to teach your knowledge. You need to spread awareness. You need to heal. You need to help. What would you say? What would each and one of you say? Would you do it? Could you do it? Would you worry what your coworker would say? So this lion, he gave up all his tools. He gave up those tools. He's like, what? How did I? Like, it took a moment of loss. It took a moment of chaos and a storm. A storm came through. This lightning storm, this windstorm, this hailstorm that we're going to experience right today, tonight. It's going to happen across the world. One of the most fiercest storms ever. That's going to cause a lot of change. And all of a sudden, people are like, "Wait, there's, I lost so much." But I'm like, "But what did you gain?" If it destroyed all your vines and all your chains, what did you gain? Freedom. All those animals that were telling the lion that he needs the tool, that he was wrong, that he's less than, they all suffered events from the storm. So they all went their own way. But he also had to run away from the storm and got scattered somewhere else. So now he's by himself, and now he could just reflect. Now he could just think. Now he could just be by himself and his own voice and communicate with the spirits. And suddenly he realized, I don't need that tool. It was hard though, right? Because he was told for so long that this tool and all these people, their validation, what they say, what they care about, all this stuff is what matters. So he lost all of that, right? And when we lose what we're made to believe matters, it hurts us. And there was a few things that he did care about, right? Uh, he was trying to seduce this lioness girl, and he wanted to have a little Simba with her. But oh well. But still, you see, like he had that was his hopeful possibility, but it became an expectation and it got destroyed. So he needed a recovery period. He needed time to rejuvenate, to innovate himself. And when he opened his eyes again, the plains, the desert, the water area, the frost area, the volcano area, all these paths that he'd explored with the tool, and also suddenly also changed because of the storm. But now he didn't have the tool. Now all of a sudden there was less noise. So now when he looked around, he could focus on different things because he was only focused on the tool, or he was only focused on what all the animals that were landing and attacking and presenting voices said to him. So now the entire world was different. So it was almost like getting to play the game again. Yet he didn't forget all that stuff, but now he just realized that it was wrong. The lion was made to believe that he was a sheep, and then once he was a sheep, he was made to believe that the tool was the answer. If he didn't lose his belief that he was a lion, he would have never believed that the tool was the answer. Do we understand? They first have to make a lion a sheep to make it believe that the tools or the other voices are correct. Otherwise, a lion would never listen. Not to cause harm, but they would acknowledge, but they would still walk their path forward. The moment a lion does what all the voices are saying, you know that that lion has been poisoned. And I want all of you to think about it, that you each have a lion inside of you. And if right now you're listening to voices, or right now you care about a tool, and a tool could be money, could be validation, could be anything like that, what people say, then you're poisoned, you're corrupted, you're on a path that they made you a sheep. The lion inside of you has been tamed. And many times, it's through a positive. The girl, right? If it's the best answer to everything, you don't need to explore anymore. A kid. If this lion got the girl and had the kid, the little Simba, would he need to explore anymore? And he has the tool to understand that any problem that happens can be solved by that tool. Why would you explore anymore? The only option then is you have to get the lioness and Simba to explore with you. It's the only path. But what if they don't? Well, then they become a vine and they become a chain. If they prevent you from seeking uncharted territory, it means that you can't discover things at your pace anymore. See, I'm just trying to show you guys that it's not so black and white, right? Like a lot of you are like, I want to walk forward, but I can't. I'm like, exactly, because any positive can stop us. It could be even as, hey, we've been beat up and we've had suffered so much loss that we just want something a little easier. So then we were given like the best item in the game, right? Whatever that is. Like for me now, I would say it's the girl, right? You get these amazing items and you use it. So all of a sudden now you're like, well, I don't really have to explore anymore because, well, I already got everything. There's no point to go there. There's no point to go there. Like there's no reward there anymore because I already have something so much better. Do you guys understand? If you walk forward through those places now, if you have the best thing, you have to do different stuff. But you guys get it. Most of us, since we get then many to believe that's only about the tool, the reward, we stop exploring, stop walking forward. It's not simple. All this sounds so simple. Why can't you move forward? It's not, right? You guys see, like, all it takes is one positive, and they can prevent all exploration. They give you guys the best answer, the best solution. They can prevent you from ever moving forward. If they can't stop you through corruption, if they can't stop you through poison, they can stop you by giving you the best answer, the best solution. And then, once that happens, you no longer are learning. You no longer walk forward. And the moment we stop exploring new, the moment we are only recreating experiences that we've already done instead of learning new, that is when corruption and poison now has an opportunity to present itself. Because most of us don't realize, but we each, I thought it was just myself, but I now know that we each have it. The problem is that most of you haven't unlocked it yet. It's literally there. You have the key, but all of you don't realize it. And you can unlock it and open it. And once you do, it's there for good. But we each have what I call the figuring out shield. Sherlock. Dun, 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 dun. We each have that inside of us, which means that when we piece things together and we figure something out and we learn something new that we haven't experienced before, and we don't know what is about to happen, but we have hopeful possibility that it's a positive light path. So we have no expectation, but we still are bracing for it in case there's anything dark that might come our way. We thrive. Any of us, I promise you, each and every one of us, right? And especially now, the risk though then is when that happens, the moment that begins happening, each and every one of you is going to get presented corruption opportunities. And I call it planting a dark seed. So the moment you start having successes and victories, the moment that happens, they start trying to make you care about things that don't matter. This is what they did to the lion, right? They start trying to make you care about things that don't matter. External validation, numbers, resources, rewards, all these things impact. And it gets complicated, right? It's not simple because if any of those things get planted for dark, if any of those things get planted, then it's gonna sprout because now that it's planted, they water it. They water it over and over again. They water it over and over again. And before you know it, that tree has sprouted. And all of a sudden, you're now walking down paths and caring about things. You're exploring differently. You care about things differently. All of a sudden, like now it's like, well, why does this matter? Why does this matter? And even if I'm just letting you guys know, even if like, for example, like I'm like, well, I'm curious to see how many people are reading it. You guys get it. That doesn't matter. But you see, like, even if I know it doesn't matter, but sometimes I'm still curious. You see that that's how it begins. I'm like, how many people are actually reading this? I'm like, oh, why did only 15 read this and 20,000 read this one? What? Do you understand? Like that's how it begins, because then they can start creating divides, and they can start creating corruption, and they can start pulling you and chaining you and putting vines like that. It just doesn't matter, because the moment you start caring about those things, you're not walking forward the same way that you used to. I'm telling you, the moment this is done, the only thing I can use this for is to boost myself up when they try to poison and corrupt me, or like to give myself a little boost, just to like basically reconsume my information, to brainwash myself, to get rid of the poison, the corruption, and that's it. There's no other value anymore for me in this once this is over. Do you guys understand? And people are like, what? This might be one of your best works yet. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Yet the majority of you now, based on what we've been taught was the ideal method, would now download this recording, take it to an editing thing, break it down into clips, and post that over and over again, over and over again, over and over again, and keep repurposing, keep reusing. And it's like, is there anything wrong with repurposing? No, but do you understand? Now I actually realize that it's the worst thing that we can really do because we stop walking forward. Because guess what? Even if and most of you actually edited and spent a lot of time on it, even if I just clipped it in like 2 minutes, do you understand? I don't even listen to them. Like, okay, 15 minutes. I'm still reading it. I'm still spending a few seconds on it. I'm still focused on this. I'm like, oh, which one was this? I'm like, oh, this is the one where I told the lion story and I used it to tie it to all the things I'm talking about. Do we understand? You're still in the past. So it means I was like, wait, why aren't you getting a new stream? Nah, today I'm going to post these. And that's not a bad thing. But you understand, I'm not creating new anymore. I'm not walking forward. I walk back and I'm trying to optimize. And do you get it, guys? And I'm saying I've gotten to a point now where I'm saying that even just a little bit of that, I'm already like, ooh. And would breaking this down into little short videos to make it a little more digestible for people be necessarily a bad thing? I'm like, no, but at the same time, like, if they can't handle the whole story, are they really prepared for this knowledge yet? Probably not. Do we understand? Yet most of you, so we've gone full circle, most of you, I want to explain then now how this lion became a dragon. So the lion realized that he just has to walk forward, right? He explored things on his own pace, right? The new discoveries were happening when he chose to, not when other people were doing so. And to do so, he had to hibernate. He learned that from a bear. And what was this bear? His spirit that he communicates with. His light spirit. The lion learned that he needs to hibernate. And when he did, he realized that it's all about the bare necessities. When we try to do things at other people's pace, we miss things, right? And could that be a good thing to push us if we never walk forward? Sure. But do you understand that if the goal for each and every one of you, I challenge each and every one of you, if you're actually listening to this and you got this far, first of all, congratulations, I applaud you. Number two, it is time for you to start making people you need to get them to walk forward. That's it. That's all we need to do. I'm going to write this down because this is actually the answer. The only thing we each need to do is break people free to walk forward. Because at that point, once they have broken their vines and their chains to prevent them from walking forward, and they no longer care about these tools, and they no longer worry about just recreating the past, and they want to experience new, when that happens, now they can explore uncharted territory. Because think about it, like, if there's this line over here, right? They're over here. And they finally broke free. They've been stuck in this painting for literally 1,000 years. They broke free. You understand that now this entire background, everything, anything is walking forward. It's all uncharted territory. Well, now they should still not go that way, right? Because they've already got up to here, right? So this is like an equivalent, just a different coat of paint. But all of this is new, uncharted territory that they can discover at their own pace. What if I said, you have to get to the owl by tomorrow, or I will punish you? Well, it's not going to work that well. Only thing that matters is break all free to be able to walk forward. That's it. Only thing. Because once, if they can walk forward, they can do it at their own pace. And begin questioning. That's such a good little path that we do there. All right. So let's finish up. This was really good. The storm is on its way. You now know that. What are you going to do about that? All right. So this lion had other, like I said, it doesn't matter if you're actually not a lion, right? Each one of us has a lion inside of us. Okay. So we're all down here by this tree. Okay. Each and every one of us. Right. I'm a lion. It all, not that became a dragon. We'll get to talk about how that happened all the way over here. But all of you are right there with me, right? And this is everyone who I've encountered in my life, by the way. Now I'm just being a nudge to try to remind them, snap them out of their current hold. But we were at the same spot whenever I bumped into anyone, this lion, okay? It doesn't matter if you were a lamb, a wolf, a vulture, an eagle, a hyena, a crocodile. We were all at the same spot. You guys understand? When we interact with each other, we were in the same room, we were doing the same things. Doesn't matter who, right? Okay, lions, my fellow lions. So I started walking. All of a sudden, a choice got presented to us. I'm like, do you do this or do you do this? Right? Just to ground it a little bit for you guys. Do you get a job? All right. What if we both decided to walk the same path? I'm like, okay. So all of you know your coworkers and your friends and stuff like that, right? And family members, and they chose something at this point. I'm like, okay, cool. How long have they been there? They've been there for more than a year. You understand how enslaved they are and how tied down they are they even learning anything new? The moment you stop learning anything new and you start only recreating new experiences, new challenges, the same thing, you need to move forward. But I'm telling you, there's now, let's say I finally snapped some of them out of it, right? I already walked forward, right? I'm like, I'm already over here. So they decided to stay at that same place for 2 years, right? I stayed there 1 year. So I'm here now. By year two, I'm here. They just finally broke free, okay? So now they go up, but they decided to choose something similar. So like maybe they were sheep, right? But have a lion inside of them. They woke it temporarily. They did something new, but like, okay, now I'm gonna. They were like, let's say they were, I don't know, just think of it the same industry, but just like a different company. Okay, so now they went from here to here, and now they're starting learning. But look at that, they haven't even passed the lamp painting yet. So now they're doing this, but they still are here. Year two, I'm already here. They're here. Okay. Year three, maybe they make it up to here, but they're there. Year three, I'm over here. All of a sudden, at year four, I'm over here. They're right here. They can't really go further. They're kind of stuck there because every time they try to do like this, their bosses, their friends, their parents tell them you can't. Their tools, money tells them you can't. AI tells them you can't. So they keep going back down there every time. Like, oh, what might happen? The risk. What might happen? Something bad might happen. What would people say? Do you know who you are? Your family name? Oh my god, how embarrassing! You see what that? Hey, you suck. Why do you think you're good at that? Oh, do you remember these people who did this to? Oh, all of a sudden a sad loss event. Year five. Year six. Year six. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like browsing LinkedIn. I'm like, hey, what's up? I see you. How you doing? Hope you're walking forward. and they see me all the way over here. Do you guys remember 6 years ago, and we did 1 year together? We were here. They're here because of the loss event, right? That shouldn't have happened, but it did. So they're here right now. I'm here. At no point am I talking about how much money we have, what we've accomplished. Like, did you get married? Did you have a kid? Anything? You guys understand? I'm just saying, did you walk forward? Nothing external, no validation, no rewards. Yet I'm here, and they're here. And we were in the same room and doing the same thing 6 years ago. Anyone, by the way, any girl, any lioness, any lion, any animal, anything. This applies to every single person, every single thing. You get here, you become a dragon. So all of a sudden, these people might see that they're like, what is? They might not even understand anything I'm talking about. They might not even be able to conceptualize who I am, what I do, what I believe in, what I've explored, what I've become. It's because they're still here. Do you guys understand? They've never even passed this painting. They've never even passed this painting. So that means all of this is like darkness. Think of it like when you turn off the light. Some of you might be afraid of the darkness. I'm not anymore because I know exactly what, if anything does appear, what it is and who it is. But do you guys understand? Think of it's like just darkness, like fog. They can't see anything, right? There's no vision. All of this, I've uncovered this entire map. I see all of it, and I'm over here. And I choose to be over here, but I could be down here. I could be over here. I'm choosing to do up here, right? Yet they don't even know what lies beyond this. Do you understand? They see this, but anytime they could explore a little bit, oh, money, oh, negative reminder, oh, loss event, oh, parents, oh, work, oh, friends. Oh, actually, you know what? Oh, they're starting. They almost escaped. They almost escaped. Let's get them to care about the hot girl again at work. Because she doesn't want to leave and doesn't want to change. So, and they can't change from that. Because it's the best solution. They make them happy. They heal them when. So now they're up here, but they see they're about to escape the painting, and now they're up here again. They're in a better spot, right? But they're here. All of this new, all of this move forward, they're never going to experience. Do you guys understand how it happens? If you just walk forward and you're experiencing new and you're always learning new, you protect yourself from corruption. By the way, there's so many loss events and falls every single point here, right? Like this, let's say this is the god light level, the dragon level, right? There's so many times that this lion was down here. But even when he was down here, the lion kept walking forward, no matter what. And if there was a temporary pause, it was very short. And if it was like a 1 degree change like this. Right? Sometimes there was huge jumps, but most of the time it was still like this. But if you do 1 degree every single day, you understand in a year you did 360 degrees. You went full circle. So why can't you move forward? When are you all going to awaken the lion that's inside of you and start walking the path to become the light dragon and defeat darkness? Stop caring about the tools. We need to give up things. They free us to explore differently. If people don't want to walk with you, you have to leave them behind. Not out of malice, not out of darkness, but we can't be enslaved. We can't have divines that keep us back. We can't. It's impossible. You need to walk forward. That's the only way we can evolve. Do you understand? It's at their pace, but you break them free and then you let them walk forward. You understand? As long as they're walking forward, like, okay, let's say this lion found a lioness right here, right in the middle. Okay, when he's right here, he's up here now. She's down here, and I'm not saying that has nothing to do with intelligence, has nothing to do with capability. Do you guys understand? This has nothing to do with intelligence capability. It's just moving forward and exploring. That's all it is. Do you understand that I can explore every place that's outside in my surroundings right now? Has nothing to do with my intelligence or capability, but I'm still moving forward. It's new, it's uncharted territory. Okay. So let's say she doesn't understand fully how to do that, but did he break her free to make her understand how to walk forward? If so, he doesn't have to leave her behind. Understand? Because now she just does it at her own pace. She can just keep walking forward. But we have to break her free. So for any girl that's going to listen to this, well, I'm looking for one. And if you're interested, I'd love to break you free so that we can walk forward together. But that's topic for another time. But that's what I'm looking for. Anyway, so if you give things up though, it frees you, right? What if though that same lioness didn't break free? It's like, nope, you're not going anywhere. All of a sudden, can't walk forward anymore. At best, can only walk on the like where they're at. But you see, like anytime they're gonna pass this point, nope, nope, nope. All I'm saying is, you can walk forward, and you don't have to leave behind your lioness. But if they're not able to walk forward, then it's never gonna work. Do you understand? We have to walk forward. Just so people know, this lion had parents, right? And I think of it like Mufasa and like Nala or whatever. I forget the character's name. If the parents don't move forward, then it's just not going to work, right? You understand? Each and every single one of our parents, we just have to help them break free to walk forward. And sometimes it requires some distance, right? And making them snap out of their reliances on these tools and these vines that they have. They have to. If they listen to all this, they can piece it together. And if they can't, they'll get there. But they have to, because the point is, if the majority of the people around you are not walking forward, you're not going to be able to walk forward. It's just that simple. I can tell you for a fact, if I browse LinkedIn right now and I see people from my past, because that's what they do, right? They try to remind us of the past to keep us stuck in the past. I could see them and just be like, hey, and move on, right? Most people can't. Like, oh my God, and want to know it. I'm like, who cares, right? I move forward. But I can still nudge them and be like, hey, I've already moved forward. You're still doing the same thing that you've been doing for the last 18 months. And I'm already over here and you're still doing this. Why? Because something is not letting you move forward, whoever you are. But I'm telling you, if I see that they're all interacting with the same circle that I knew that I was in 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it's the exact same circle and they're still in the same industry, I'm like, you didn't move forward. I'm like, oh no. Something prevented you from moving forward. So let's finish up. If you don't care for optimal, the playthrough itself becomes the story. The lion experienced loss. The lion survived the storm that he didn't think he was going to survive. He walked certain paths that were like actually overpowered and some that were bad and some that were really good, right? He didn't know because now he didn't have the same evaluation criteria anymore, right? He didn't care about the tools. He just was exploring. He was just walking forward. So when you get to that point, you realize that sometimes you're going to stumble upon some things that are really good, and sometimes you're going to stumble upon some things that are really bad. But you start identifying now what's your poison and what's your positives, what's your light path, and what's your dark path. And once you know, you'll never walk down the dark path again. Because now you know. Because there's no voices telling you what is right. You're deciding for yourself based on your own experiences. Do you understand? And we all need to get there, because that means we're no longer chained, we no longer have vines, we no longer have insecurity locks, we're no longer enslaved. So that means even if anyone says something, we have to be careful though, because I'm telling you guys, enough repetition, enough reinforcement, even if you know it's wrong, can temporarily poison you and infest you. Right? That's real. So you have to be careful. So if you consume excessive amounts of info, you should only consume it when you're shielded. So, for example, I can now do so after this stream. I could consume some info, right? Because it's a shield. Because I'm healing, I'm guiding, I'm teaching, I'm figuring things out. I could now do so because I'm protected. But I'm telling you, there's certain things that I can do. If I consume too much, that I'm still like, ooh, I have to take a step back then. That's real. And even then, this time I'm going to change it up because you know what? They now know my path. So they're going to put a lot of poison there. There's no reason to risk it right now. There's just not. Do you guys get it? Do you guys see? But I'm still walking forward. I'm always doing something a little differently. I don't care about optimal. Like right now would be the optimal time to, like, for example, like comment and share and talk to people and try to, like, I'm not going to do it right now. Sorry, guys. It's not happening. Do we understand? I just finished a stream. I could post it. I could like it. I could repost it. I could get people linking to it, try to get people to watch it and share other things and explain other things. Maybe do another post, like comment, whatever, right? Message people. Who knows? It doesn't matter. But I'm not going to do it. And it's not just to avoid poison. That's one of them. It's because I need to walk forward differently. I could do that tomorrow. I can. I don't have to. I can do it later tonight. I can. I don't have to. Do you guys understand? I can just walk forward. I can just explore anything. It doesn't matter. Do you guys understand? But I'm just walking forward. Why can't all of you just give things up to be free, to explore? I'm telling you guys, it's the coolest thing. And I'm telling you this lion has been punished and tortured for years. The majority of you actually haven't. And I'm so grateful. And I pray and wish that none of you ever have to deal with that. But I know that each and every single one of you, even if you're not being punished and tortured, is being actively poisoned and corrupted. That I do know. And being kept in the past and being reminded of the past and making you live there and care about unnecessary, irrelevant things that don't matter, external validation and success criteria that you don't decide. Stop caring about optimal. It just doesn't matter. Just experience. Be like, today I streamed and no one watched. It was so awesome though. I figured a lot of things out. Tomorrow I streamed again and 1 million people watched. Wait, what? How did you? I don't know. That's the story, right? That's the play. Do you guys understand? It's just, you're just walking forward. Like somehow, like someone saw it and they're like literally just like reposted and then went. Do you guys understand? It doesn't matter though. I'm just trying to give you guys an example. It just doesn't matter. Optimal is irrelevant. Like, well, first you have to walk the land path and the sun path and the phoenix path and the hand path and the U spirit and the storm path that we're brewing and creating right now. The windstorm, the hail, lightning, all that stuff, just to pave way for a new path for everyone. It's time for the entire world to awaken and realize that, hey, we need to just move forward. Every single one of us needs to quit our jobs, stop caring about money, and just be like, now what? That is the best question that we can all get to. Now what? Do you understand? After I'm done streaming, instead of commenting, instead of liking posts and sharing more knowledge and like doing stuff like that, I'm gonna now be like, well, now what? I don't know. I could play a game. I can sing a song. I could talk to the doves, hang out with the doves, or I could just do nothing, listen to music. You understand? My path forward is evident. I just have to walk forward. But what am I going to do? I don't know. But that's the coolest thing. I'm like, I don't even know where I'm gonna go. I don't. And there's some good suggestions that I can do, like, but they're fun things that I enjoy, right? It doesn't matter. I don't have to do any of those. I just have to walk forward. And that is the responsibility of each and every single one of you. I know this is going to get pushed to the entire world, regardless of how many people watch this. It's time for each and every one of you to walk forward. It's time for you to slash those vines and break those chains. The playthrough is the story. Does that mean that we should have negatives, negative reinforcement, bad things happen to us? No. We shouldn't. That's what I'm fighting against. But we still have to walk forward no matter what. We shouldn't need those things to become better. But I have a feeling that if everyone started walking forward and we saved Earth, the vessel that we all play on, from the vines and chains that are enslaved Earth, that suddenly the amount of negative things that are going to happen are going to be reduced dramatically. Because when everyone's on the light path and everyone sees hopeful possibility, and we have light of hopeful possibility and light of actual physical, so it's mental light and actual physical light, I have a feeling that no one's going to cause harm anymore. Because it just doesn't even enter your head. You just care about helping people. You just care about moving forward. And if something happens right now, you just say, oh, well, let's keep walking. And you know that if it's something really bad, that the other people are going to help you. Because why wouldn't they? Everyone just cares to help each other. There's no reason to like climb this imaginary ladder because all of you are stuck here and you just want to keep climbing all the way to the top here. And I'm like, just keep walking forward. Eventually, we're all going to get there. You might get there in 50 years. I might get there in 2. Who cares? It doesn't matter. That's the playthrough. Do you understand that if I get there in 2, now I have to keep finding new things to explore. So what I do is, then I do this. And now I'm re-exploring the entire path, a new path. So the last time I got there like this, now I'm like, okay, let's check over here. Do we understand? It's the only way. We have to go forward. We have to. So for each and every one of you, I encourage you to give things a role and a purpose. Why do I stream? Why do I post? Why do I wear this shepherd vest? Why do I wear the shepherd talisman? Why do I have the things that I do in my background, right? They're reminders for me to start positive paths, to create shields. I'm the shepherd, the star diplomat. Allowing my youth, we're creating light, to heal, to guide, to figure things out, to teach. Why do I play that video game? Why do I listen to these songs? And you could say that, are we taking the fun out of it? On the contrary, I'm just trying to get you guys to start questioning so that you break free, so that you start walking forward. Because after you do that, once it becomes just natural to you, and you just walk forward no matter what happens, right? So if like right now I drop this pen, most of you, and you are gonna use that pen right now, I'm like, hey, can you write something with this pen? And I drop it. Most of you would grab the pen and still write something. And I'm like, whatever. What were you gonna say? And we just talk it out instead of writing it out. Do you guys understand? That's walking forward. You don't always have to do the expected thing. You don't always have to do what other people say is the best. Explore, see what happens, but give each thing a rule. Like, well, why do I write notes? To figure things out, to remember, so that I can bring myself back to a path in case it's good. But be careful because they weaponize things, guys. But I'm telling you, I do that to help me decipher things, to figure things out. Right? It also interrupts my recency a little bit, right? And things. But then the next day, like you can see, because like let's say all of a sudden you like play a game or you watch a movie or you do something, and then you got a lot of info presented to you, and then you go back and you read this thing. Like maybe I just go to the bathroom and I read it. Normally I bring my phone. Let's say do this instead, and I'm like, oh wow. Realize we all had throughout our life more than we needed. We actually don't need all our power upgrades. Realize how far we can go until difficulty in the scaling catches up. And if it does, then we can add more. But did we actually need it? Or could we have succeeded just with a different strategy? You see, like all of a sudden I read that and my entire path, my recency changes. So wait, oh, now there's value for my notes. Now you guys see, like each thing has a role and a purpose. But if one tool becomes the everything, money, AI, it prevents evolution, it prevents us from walking forward. You guys need to push yourself. 40 days is what I challenge all of you, but try it farther. 40 days, can you limit as much information as possible every day? More. No Reddit, No LinkedIn. Okay. Can I only listen to music? Can I do so without paying for it? Let's say you use YouTube Premium. Can I cancel YouTube Premium? Now I'm exposed to ad noises and ins. Can I find ways to prevent an ad from presenting information to me? Can I mute it preemptively? Can I, let's say if I use my computer, can I like turn off the brightness, or can I just walk away and prevent that from presenting info to me because it's info that I'm not choosing? Because remember, hopeful possibility, right? Every single ad is going to be a beautiful hot girl and or something like that, or a dog and a kid and things like that. But I have to be prepared that it's not, right? That's, I hope for that, but I don't expect it. Okay, because there's the physical world and my mental. I hope for it. Like, but then I'm like, ooh, remember, you see, like it's different. But I'm now, this is what I'm thinking about it. I've walked all this. I'm teaching you guys all this. I'm guiding you. And yet I'm telling you right now, the one that I'm working on right now is the hopeful possibility. That is what I am currently working on so that I can always have light plus light to constantly wield a light sword. Do you guys understand? Light plus light, constantly, no matter what happens. So think about that. I'm telling you guys that I've done this path. I've done this climb. I'm always walking forward. There's been a few interruptions here and there, even when I've been destroyed. I'm still walking forward, even if it's at a snail's pace. But I'm here, and I'm still learning new. I'm still figuring things out, even while I'm guiding and teaching. I'm still walking forward, even as I was doing this. Do we understand? That means that some people are right here still, right? That I've known. And I'm telling you, let's say I was here. Throughout this thing, I'm teaching you guys all of this. And throughout this thing, I made it here. Do we understand? It's not a competition, but when you're only here, they just have to keep pushing that stuff. And I'm telling you, they're going to keep pushing everything. By the way, just so you guys know, they're with us. These entities that I'm telling you guys, I try not to focus on them as much anymore, but I try to focus on the lessons instead. But these things, right, both good and bad, they're with us, okay? So that means that they're learning. If right now you have a kid or a pet, right, you start understanding like the songs that they enjoy and they respond well to, or like the food, stuff like that. I'm saying they're like that, okay? So that means that's why if you don't keep walking forward, they now know all the good and all the bad. And I'm telling you, the bad, you don't want to make it easier for them, right? Because if they just have to keep, if you're only in this little segment right here, they only have to keep reminding you there, go back here, go back here. And they're going to do that regardless. But if every time you're like, they're like, yeah, whatever, and you keep walking forward, instead of every single time they tie the rope to you and you just cut it every single time, they're like, no, they can't do anything. Doesn't mean it's fun, doesn't mean it's good, but you guys get it. You have to walk forward. It protects you from corruption. I'm telling you, there is no reason for any wars to be going on for more than even one day. If they are, it's because the leaders are completely corrupted and stuck in the past. If they can't talk and figure it out in one conversation, that means that something is chaining them back there. They're enslaved to something. They have vines. They're chained. I'm telling you, it's the info that's being repeated to them nonstop and what they're consuming and what they're listening to in their circle. They need to walk forward. Each and every one of us. There is no reason, by the way, that Earth should not be a one united country. I still believe that, by the way. I believe that there should only be one country. One country with regions. One world. Oh, this is the region where they speak like this. Like, think like in Germany, like, oh, this is where they speak like this and have this. This region has this region has that. But it's just one world. We can all get anywhere. And everyone's just pooling all their resources together. Why can't that be the case? I'm actually going to write that down again. I really do. I really want to know that. Why can't we do that? This is just a fun one, a positive one for me. One world, one country, different regions, all pooling their resources together. That needs to happen. There is no reason for conflict. Why? Just create one Earth. Everyone give. Everyone's just helping each other. Like, oh, this region is currently suffering with this storm. We need to give them more things. Help them there so they can walk forward, and then so forth. I don't. And then you constantly make it as easy as possible for everyone to get to all regions so that people can just explore. You understand? Imagine we just spend a life like, okay, hey, this next year, now we want you to explore over here, this region. We want you to explore this region. Imagine if every single human had the option easily to explore the entire Earth, everywhere, not limited by money. Do you understand how different everything would be if each and every one of us was allowed to, encouraged to, and basically even pushed to explore the entire world at their own pace? Hey, you're gonna see every single country region in the world by the time, let's say we get to live to 500 years now. By the time you're 500, some might explore it all in 200, but you're gonna explore it all in 500. But you're going to. What's the problem with that? Why can't it be like that? And the moment, if you have a long list of why it can't, that's all the things that are your vines and your chains. Anyway, I'm just telling you guys, why wouldn't we want to make people explore the entire world? Okay. So with that said, how far could you go? Each and every one of you. Before you actually need to upgrade something. If you no longer care about these tools or the optimal. We have to create new. The unknown. There's no other path. I'm telling you. Today I played a game. I'm going to do it just for a little positive path end here. Elden Ring. And I played it for it. It was a challenge run. Okay. Level one. So it means I've never played it that way. It's so different. I even was changing the equipment and everything like that. Okay. I was changing it up. It was a very new experience. But the thing is, I already have completed that game. All right. Years ago. But I still know the game. Do you guys understand? Even though I'm completely changing it, the challenge completely changes. It's literally a 100% different game. I'm doing it at level one with no upgrades. And last time at that same spot, I was like level 70, right? Or level 50 with a lot of upgrades. It's a completely different game, right? Because of that. The challenge makes it so different. Yet I'm telling you, the best option though is to be like, wait, why don't I do instead something new that I have no idea what's going to happen next? Why? Why is that better? Because we're learning something new. Yet, I'm telling you, that Elden Ring challenge run that I was doing, I played it for a lot of hours. When I used it to get to the point of streaming the last time I started my last journey. So that means that I used it to get me here. You understand that it had its purpose. I think I played it like hundreds, at least 100 hours. Okay, that means that those 100 hours taught me a lot of lessons. I used them in my streams and my posts, and but I also just learned a lot. But it was a lot of fun. It was challenging and pushed me. It's all great, all good things, by the way. Just so you guys understand, all good things. And I could play it again and have fun, and I can. And I might do it once in a while, very rarely. But I'm telling you, the best path is forward, exploring new. The best path by far. Those work, but do you understand? It's still a comfort. It's still something that I know. Can start a positive path for me, right? If I need one. But you see, the tool is different. It's there for like that. It's not actually there for moving forward. I'm telling you guys, the best is things we don't know. It's just the case. Each thing got us here. It's how you can move forward after loss. It should never have happened. Anything. But it got us here. Focus on the positives. Focus on the good. But remember, a positive, a powerful one that can be the best answer and solution can prevent exploration. Seek uncharted territory. Don't limit yourself. Don't harm. Only light. New discoveries at your pace. Now that you're free and you know how to walk forward, keep discovering things, but at your pace. Some people are going to be slower than others. Some lines might not be lines, but they have a line inside them, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But as long are you moving forward? And if you do need to do a little recreation here and there, like if I need to play Elden Ring to do a little positive path or do something once in a while, that's fine. But the best is still moving forward, experiencing new, learning new, creating new. Don't let change, because there's as you start moving forward, don't let change or progress corrupt your opportunity to move forward. This one, I'm going to pause here for a second. I want people to think about this. As we're changing, right? And as we're progressing, a lot changes, right? We're capable of more. We believe. We no longer tolerate the same things. But what if all of a sudden this lion gets a lioness, right? It's going to change his path, right? Because she's not going to move forward. Maybe she doesn't know how to move forward. She hasn't broken free yet. And that's fine, right? So now he's going to have to spend time there. That's good. But what if it corrupts the opportunity to move forward? What if it actually drags him back? If he knows why and he's still moving forward to try to break her free to do so, that's fine. But you understand, sometimes we're so intent on the change and on trying to progress on something that it can actually corrupt our opportunity to move forward. Whatever it is. I need to get the money. I need to get this. I need to do this. I'm like, I think about it like this, guys. I'm the lion, right? He's become the dragon. This is my story. And I want a girl and a kid so bad right now, right? Because I know what it was for me and what it could give. It literally would shield me so much. I found workarounds to help me get similar effects, but it's not the same, right? Right now, I get to go into her embrace and cuddle with her and start teaching my kids some of this stuff, my daughter or whatever. Do you understand? Like, it'd be a completely different game. But what if you see, like, what if I don't move forward anymore because now I'm spending all my time trying to get the girl? So this middle path right here, you see, guys, how there's like this empty part right here, right? This is, let's say this is the girl and the kid. Okay. So if I spend all my time trying to get this, I'm not walking forward anymore because I'm doing this. Understand? I'm like, I can't move forward until I get the girl, the kid. Let's just say the girl, kid, and the pet. I'm literally just doing this. An endless loop right here. Are any of those things bad? No. Because each one of those things would be my ultimate shield, part of my ultimate shield, right? And then on this, without now I know how to do it correctly and reinforce the shepherd shield, start up my path. Like, understand? Like, it would let me go. Yeah, I'm telling you, if I'm just doing this, I'm not moving forward the entire time I'm doing this. You got to do this. You got to walk forward, but we're always seeing at what point, right? Look at it. Like, let's say I'm doing this, right? All the blank stuff at the wall is a potential girl and a kid and a pet. Look about how many there could be, right? Like, ooh, this path doesn't, and there's no path past the leaf right there. Like maybe I get all the way there, and I need. That's when I might get to the point where I need something to help me jump over something. I might need the girl, the kid, and the dog then. So then I get them there. But you see, like I still have opportunities there. But look at how small that area is right there. Do you guys understand? So that's the potential girl that I could have. But it's only those. Do you guys see? You're like, why are you limiting yourself? I'm like, nah, it's just those are the ones that can keep up with me or how far I've walked forward. So then I get one there, and then we're here. You guys understand? So many of you decide that I need to get the car, I need to get the money, I need to get the job, I need to do this, whatever, right now, okay? The house, anything like that. So you stay here, you stay like this. But if you were just walking forward while trying to do those storylines eventually, there's gonna come a point where like, oh, now the owl could be the house. Do you guys understand? If you're just walking forward and exploring uncharted territory, new discoveries at your pace, everything will fall in place. There might be moments where you do have to go a little bit, right? Like, let's say right here, I'm like, oh, actually, let's go down here a little bit to see what girl is down here. I'm like, okay, it's possible. It is possible. But do you understand? Look how small that path is. And then you go back there. And you actually, she might help you be like this. Oh, look, this is a path over here. You understand, guys? But all of you right now are doing this. The endless now. It's time to defeat the dark. You need to get to the point. If you listen to all this now, you know why you stopped learning. It's the past, the vines and the change that keep us back there. Hopeful possibility. Behind every door is that a beautiful girl and a kid and a pet. But I don't expect it. That's my mental world, right? My physical world, I have to brace myself for potential darkness. But since my mental world is light, I can handle the darkness. Doesn't mean it's fun, right? It's still a battle. It's a clash every single time. But then, if there's at any point light plus light, we have our sword. And we're going to strike down darkness in this lifetime, because I will have my vengeance. So now you can do. Now you can walk forward. And that is the story of the lion and how he became a dragon. Even though at one point he thought he was a sheep. That's each and every one of our story. I want you to think about that one, guys. All right. So what do you guys think? Are you ready to walk forward? Let today be the day.